Alright, I'm picking English. We will sell your original SNES games. 1/3 of the gross profit will be yours. We welcome games of any kind. Oh, I bet. So please send us your floppy. Send us your floppy. Would you like to sell our products at your store? We're looking for dealers worldwide. Enough already! How desperate could they be to sell this game? And I guess still nobody bought it because nobody can find a physical copy. Then finally the title screen appears. Jackie Chan. Apparently Jackie Chan is in the game, who I doubt gave any consent to Happysoft or was even aware of it. The image is stolen from the film Wheels on Meals. The game was released, made, or at least copyrighted in 1995, but set in the future of 1997. The year 1997 has arrived. A herd of... This can't be real. No. No! Somebody's pulling my leg! A herd of fucking ugly reds? Was a herd of ugly reds too weak? Did they really need the F word to fucking drive home the fucking point? This was before cursing in games was common. I remember how shocked I was when I first played Rambo on NES and saw the word hell. But here, they dropped the F-bomb! They did it! A game made for the Super Famicom! It's the closest you'd ever get to a Super Nintendo game that says fuck. And the music is still going. A herd of fucking ugly reds, period, are rushing from the mainland. Crime rates skyrocketed. Hong Kong is ruined. Therefore, the Hong Kong government called Bruce Lee's relative, Chin. Bruce Lee's relative. Just happens to be as skilled as Bruce Lee. Not a brother, a son, or even a cousin. Just some unspecified relative. It doesn't make any sense. Like, if you were related to, I don't know, Michael Jordan, would that mean that you're automatically good at basketball? Okay, so Bruce Lee is in the background. The guy at the podium is Chris Patton, former governor of Hong Kong. And over there is Jackie Chan. Which one is Chin? For the Massacre of the Reds. Chin is a killer machine. That's Chin? It's Jackie Chan playing Bruce Lee's relative. Oh, Chin. What a name. Could it be any more common? Oh, wipe out all 1.2 billion of the red Stop. I can't take it anymore. I haven't even seen the game yet. Oh. Wipe out 1.2 billion. And if I'm not mistaken, in 1995, that would have been the entire population of China. Bruce Lee's relative is so powerful, he's the equivalent of 1,000 nukes. He's going to murder the entire population of China by breaking their necks. Even when Bruce Lee would take down 20 people, it took him a little bit of time. But now comes Chin. You don't fuck with Chin. However, in mainland China, there was a secret project in progress. A project to transform the deceased Deng Xiaoping into an alternate... It's killing me. So apparently, for the character of Deng Xiaoping, they used an actual image of a real Chinese leader, Deng Xiaoping, spelled differently but pronounced very similar. When the game was made, this guy was still alive. Could they have at least had the courtesy to wait for him to die before transforming him into an ultimate weapon? This is the most epic, absurd opening to any video game I've ever seen. Nothing compares! That'd be like if I made a game called New York 2017. Motherfucking demons from the planet Jupiter have arrived through the Manhattan portal. The leader of United States calls upon Master Joe, John Wayne's half-cousin stepson, to annihilate the 2.5 octodecillion alien scum of the universe. However, on Jupiter's secret moon, a master plan is conceived to resurrect the astro-demonoid Bill Clinton into a mecha doomsday machine. Now that I've digested all that, let's play the game. One hit and the game's over. Why would I expect anything more? No. Oh, please. I hope that's not a real dead body. No, there's no way they'd have such bad taste. That's got to be an actor. Or we're looking at some guy who died on that date and time in 1992. Oh, this couldn't get the Nintendo endorsement? I'm so shocked that this didn't come out on Super Nintendo. Every time you die, it resets the whole game. You have to go through the whole introduction again. This is almost as tedious as Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Great game, but you have to wait through a long, drawn-out game over screen just to get back to the title screen, select your file, and load the game all over again. That is some fucking bullshit. But this is a game that isn't even good. Not even close. And no, the song never stops. No sound effects either, just that same loop. Even when the game restarts, it doesn't interrupt it. The song never needs to reboot. It's quite impressive, actually. Nothing can stop that loop. You'll be hearing that in your dreams. So let's talk about what's happening here. Obviously, it's a 2D shooter. Nothing more to say. What you see is what you get. Chin's only method of attack is throwing projectiles, because if you're related to Bruce Lee, that means you can shoot white balls. This guy is so good, he does it all with his back turned. Everybody he hits, they don't just die, they burst into an atomic fucking explosion! And it's inside a square, like they just slapped a picture of a mushroom cloud on there. Why is the background Coca-Cola? Did they run out of ideas? Like, what should we put there? Anybody got any ideas? Anybody? Coca-Cola. Alright. You know, there was a movie called Hong Kong 97. It came out in 94, 1 year before this game. That can't be a coincidence. So I'm going to consider this a movie-based game. Just so I can say it has nothing to do with the movie. In less than 5 minutes, the final boss appears, Tung Xiaoping, played by Deng Xiaoping, who has been transformed into a so-called ultimate weapon. What kind of ultimate weapon is that? He's just a head! After you kill him, the game continues and loops endlessly, so there's no real ending to the game. Unless maybe you kill 1.2 billion people without getting hit once, but who would ever try that? The strange thing is that Deng Xiaoping actually died in 1997. The game predicted the future. In fact, 1997 was the year the United Kingdom returned their rule of Hong Kong back to China. The movie from 94 forecast this in the tagline, 99 years of British rule are about to come to an end. Hong Kong will never be the same. The movie stars Robert Patrick, the T-1000 from Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and Judgment Day takes place in 1997. Part of Deng Xiaoping's ear is sort of cut off, like when Mike Tyson bit off a piece of Evander Holyfield's ear in 1997. The car, I'm willing to bet, is a Mercedes-Benz in which Princess Diana died in 97. And what was the year Coca-Cola launched Surge? 97. And it's no coincidence all my Surge protectors were made in China. Rebooting the entire game after you die, just like Symphony of the Night, 97. Jackie Chan, Rumble in the Bronx, New York City, the Big Apple. The year Steve Jobs returned to Apple in 97. The unstoppable, unrelenting song is called I Love Beijing Tiananmen, also known as I Love Peking Tiananmen. Peking duck is a famous duck dish from Beijing. And Scrooge McDuck had his 50th anniversary in 97. The game was such a titanic failure. Titanic, the movie from 97. Why was this game's sole purpose to direct us to the number 97? Huh. Like the NGC 97 galaxy in the constellation of Andromeda. The Princess Andromeda, who was chained naked to a rock to be sacrificed to a monster. Like Princess Leia and Jabba in Return of the Jedi. The special edition of Star Wars in 97. Oh, fuck, we're back again. Man, I was just trying to get a final answer here, but I went full circle. Like the song that keeps looping. A game that keeps repeating. Maybe it's all about a cycle. An endless cycle. Old shitty games that become new again. The past becomes the future. Birth and death. On and on. It's a cycle of life. The game is the meaning of life. And the thing that keeps life going, reproduction and food, which becomes shit. The game is fucking shit there. I've done that one. Let's see. Shitty. I've done that one too. Shitty games. one looks pretty shitty. Yeah, it's shitty. Just flying around shooting frogs and bubbles in space. No, that's not enough material to work with. I'm moving on. Here's one. Yay, this sucks. Kid Nicky's jumping around like he's on the moon. It's ass, it's ass. Nah. Oh, now this looks hilarious. My mind is a blank. There's gotta be something. Oh, death bots. How could you go wrong? Or right. Or rightfully wrong. Shooting robots. Okay. I got it. Mad Max. It was made by Mindscape, proving that not every NES movie-based game was made by LJN. See, LJN was like a cat, and the NES library was its litter box. When the litter box gets too shitty, the cat shits somewhere else. Now I'm on track. Well, you drive around, you run around shooting people, you drive, shoot, buy stuff, drive and shoot. I wish it were LJN because they would have given me more to talk about. Call me an explorer. I've been searching for the perfect shitty game, and I've seen just about everything at this point. But you know what? I'm going to do something that I've never done yet, and that is to review a game on the TurboGrafx 16. Holy shit. The TurboGrafx 16 was developed by Hudson Soft and NEC. Its original name in Japan was the PC Engine, which sounds like a computer on a train. No wonder they changed it. The games came on cards, which was unique. It was technically the first 16-bit console, made to compete with the NES, but it was soon trampled by two titans, the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo. Yeah, you were either asking your parents for the Genesis or the SNES. The TurboGrafx 16 was the one nobody gave a shit about. It didn't have as many third-party game developers working for it, but the benefit of that was that it meant less shitty games. The TurboGrafx library is less contaminated than the rest. That's why it's taken me so long to get to it. There's no major stinkers that stick out. But I might have found one. Darkwing Duck, based on the TV show. I remember the show, but I'm not overly familiar with it, which is a fair spot to be in. I have no high expectations or low expectations. By now, I've played some of the most horrible games that are humanly possible to make. Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, Big Rigs, Hong Kong 97. I think I've set the bar too high, or too low, depending which way you look at it. So now, let's get into some more sensible territory. Let's get serious. Or should I say, let's get dangerous. Fuck. You son of a bitch. You piece of dog shit. Fuck they think of you fucking piece of shit. It begins with a stage selection screen. You move a magnifying glass over a photograph of the villains. By selecting a villain, you load their stage. That's pretty unique, I have to say. As you can see, it's a standard action side-scroller. Nothing much to explain. The graphics are satisfactory for this era. I guess I'm not supposed to be able to reach that D. Come on. Come on! Huh! Figured I could get a running start, but that doesn't work. Great, the game just began and they tease you with an item that you can't get. There's gotta be a way. Oh, I see, you bounce on the skateboarding penguins' heads. How could I be so casual when I say skateboarding penguins? Wait. Why didn't it work? What, was it a fluke the first time? Oh, maybe I bounce on this thing? Nope. It's not like I have to get the D. I don't even know what it does, but it pisses me off. I feel like an ass. I can't let that go. I feel like I've been fooled. It's like a test from the game programmers, a challenge. Like, you put that D there, and I'm going to figure out how you intend I get to it. I believe this is possible. All I got to do is bounce on one of these penguins. Why would it be so difficult? You know why? The penguins don't come when you're anywhere near the D. No, you gotta walk way out there before they start coming, and at that point they're so fast you lose them. I'll stun them with my gun, then bounce off them. I just gotta get one of them over to the D. Fuck. I give up. There's a whole game ahead of me. Fuck the D. The D can suck my dick. I have to mention, the controls are very delayed. You'd never know just by looking at it. No, you'd have to play it for yourself. Or, how about listen to me hit the button? You hear that? That's how delayed it is. Okay, here's Tuscanini. Immune to gunfire, apparently. I suppose I have to jump on him or over him. And that's so convenient when you're going uphill. No! Oh, I have an idea. Nope. Gotta admit, it was a pretty smart idea. I accept that I have to take a hit. Can I just get past him? Whew, thank God. Oh, no! I've been playing on normal mode. I'm changing it to easy. Huh, easy and normal. Should be called hard and fucking bullshit. Is this guy gonna die or what? Finding ammo isn't that common, and I just wasted it all on one guy. What a shitload of fuck. Here's the final showdown with Tuscanini. Okay, so the idea is to jump on him. I did it once. Why can't I do it again? Oh, sorry, I shit myself. How did the bags hit me? I was standing perfectly in between them. The hit detection in this game seems to be spontaneous. I can usually adapt to crap, but this game is a rare breed where I legitimately can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. It's a type of game designed to make it appear that you're playing real poorly, to make you question, is it really you? But it's the delayed controls and strange hit detection. Now all of a sudden it worked? Nothing has any rhyme or reason. Things go on diagonal slant so you can't tell what part you're allowed to jump on. Hazardous objects still harm you even when you clearly jump over them, as if there's some kind of invisible electric barrier around them. Don't you think there'd be a reason why the window is broken? Doesn't it look like I can hop down there? How about hanging on the power lines? Darkwing is actually reaching up as if he could grab on, but it never happens. It messes with your mind. It's a psychological sucker front, a facade. It's the equivalent of an open door that you can't go in. Another brain teaser they throw at you is this puzzle. As you progress in the game, you get more pieces of the puzzle to work with. The annoying part is that they put two characters behind the puzzle, so sometimes I can't tell if I'm looking at the puzzle or at a piece of the background. Just have a flat color! Jeez! Is it fucking rocket science? Oh, look at all those goodies up there. Jump on the bat. Jump on the bat! I give up. What a kick in the ass. What kind of game is this where you can sometimes jump on things and other times can't? So much shit coming at me. So much shit! What the fuck just happened? It's like you make one wrong step, you go to the dungeon, bitch! What is this thing anyway? A pizza that turns into a capybara? You can't duck and shoot. Great. Well, at least you can duck. You are a duck. I don't know what kind of fucked up duck can't fucking duck. Get up there. Get up there! Get the fuck up there! With these kind of controls, you should not be required to do platform jumping. And just about now. Fuck. Let's try again. Wait for it. Nope. Not now. Next time. And here it comes. If you stand still for too long, a safe drops on you. Like the game is saying, fuck you. Might as well just be a giant middle finger, and it should be the only part of the game in 3D. Put on your 3D glasses, get ready, set, fuck you, kids! This could have been a decent game. Darkwing Duck is not one of those concepts that's doomed from the start. The show had elements of action, crime-solving, and humor. It's been done well before. There was an NES version which was basically like Mega Man, but with a duck. It was made by Capcom, who of course made the Mega Man games, and DuckTales. Those all turned out great. So what happened here? The control isn't just bad, it's uniquely bad in an indescribable way. Every game with bad control has its own feel, its own identity. Making bad games is an art form. It's a delicate recipe. Some are worse than others. It might be a massive truckload of elephant shit or a pellet of bird poop. To explain exactly how bad it is, I've invented the shit scale. It begins with games that are debatably bad, somewhat good games with serious flaws, not part of the turd crust but well within smell range. Then you get to the high level of shit contamination, games that are possible to play but nobody in their right mind would. Then you get into the very high category, which encompasses the majority of LJN games. This is where you could still survive, but you'd come out traumatized for life. Next is the severe zone. This is for masochists only. These are games that could kill a person. Stay away. Don't even think about it. Then we have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Enough said. Finally, at the extreme end of the scale, major code red, we have games that don't even qualify as games at all. They shouldn't even be on the scale, but they are. And that's so you know to beware. Never play them, never talk about them. So where does Darkwing Duck fall on the scale? I'd say somewhere around here. Of course that means there are games that are worse, but from what I've seen so far, Darkwing Duck is the worst game on the TurboGrafx 16. Being the worst at something is quite an achievement. I'm the fucking nerd. I'll see you next time.
He's the angry Atari, Amiga, CDI, ColecoVision, Television, Sega, Neo Geo, TurboGrafx 16, Odyssey, 3DO, Commodore, Nintendo, nerd. He's the angry video game nerd.
Finally, it's time to play something on the Dreamcast, the final game console from Sega. The fact that I've never before reviewed a Dreamcast game is a testament to the greatness of the console. There just weren't that many shitty games that I'm aware of. It was a good piece of hardware for Sega to go out with after many ups and downs. So what brings the occasion? Well, the fans have fished out this gem for me, because that's what y'all do, is feed me with game requests to keep me going. And they say this is one of the strangest games ever made. And it happens to be called Seaman. No, I'm not going there. So what do you do in this game? Well, the instructions say you're free to enjoy Seaman. Oh, no! It's Seaman! Seaman! Not Seaman. As in jizz! Splooge! Man bazooka juice! The manual says go to meetseaman.com. The website no longer exists, but I heard it was once a porn site. I just heard. That's all. A Dreamcast game that sends you to porn. More like wet Dreamcast. Set the time? Since when did video game consoles start telling time? I have a clock. A rolling rock clock. I don't need this shit. I can wear a watch. Or a watch is not cool enough. No. Kids nowadays, they just look at their phones. Yeah, I'd look so cool going around telling time on my phone. Yeah, you want to look cool? Put a Sega Dreamcast on your wrist with a TV and a gas-powered electric generator. You'd be so awesome. Let's play this.
You'll witness before you a phenomenon like no other. My name is Leonard Nimoy, and I will be your guide.
No way. Leonard Nimoy? Spock himself is the voice of the Seaman game on Sega Dreamcast? How do I get involved in this shit? I gotta figure it out. I gotta do it. I gotta do it for Nimoy. Okay, so to pick up the egg, you have to hit X and the right trigger at the same time. Why couldn't it just be X? Oh, maybe the idea is to go like this, you know, like you're grabbing something. Yeah, well, grab my scrote. It's 2015. Time to start saying scrote.
Then take the egg from the storage matrix.
Yeah, when he says matrix, he sounds like Galvatron. Okay, let's drop the egg in the tank. Now what? Well, thank God for the instructions. So you have to raise the heat up to a certain range, and then just wait for the egg to hatch. Alright, while the game does its thing, let's read up on a little history. According to the manual, the species that we will be raising was originally discovered in Egypt in the 1930s by a French anthro-bioarchaeologist, Jean-Paul Gasset. His hypothesis suggests that the creature was responsible for transferring knowledge and language across the land during the Third Dynasty. The creature is said to be the reincarnation of a pharaoh's son who fell in love with a priest's daughter who was turned into a fish by the god Thoth, and the pyramids were built by the priest as a beacon to guide the pharaoh's son back, where he was eventually found again. Well, they definitely put a lot of thought into it. That's a lot of backstory for a game where you just stare at an egg. Oh, wait. It multiplied. Now this is getting interesting. Oh, it's repulsive! Whoa. Ah! Oh! Oh my God! Ah! Get away from me, you mystical ancient pharaoh motherfuckers! Oh, I gotta do it. I gotta do it for Nimoy! For Nimoy! Weird.
Fucker bell.
Did it just say fucker bell? No, I just always want there to be cursing in retro games. Here's where the most important part of the game comes in, the speech. That's right, this microphone isn't just for decoration. This is how you talk to the seamen. Hello?
Hello.
It's alive. The creatures evolve slowly over time. This is a game all about patience. You spend most of the time waiting as things happen. You feed the fish, raise the heat back up, raise the oxygen, talk to the seamen, and keep them to live long and prosper. That's about all there is to it. You turn off the game, come back to it a day later, or 5 minutes later, like me.
You visit often. If one didn't know better, one might assume you're quite obsessed, or you have nothing better to do.
Oh, I have better things to do. Hello?
Yeah, hello. Whatever.
I just want to talk.
Blah, blah, blah. Happy?
Yo, fuckface.
Let's be sure and get my name right, skin puppet. You're a pain in the ass.
Suck my dick.
Hey, Seaman, don't play that.
What can I do? I'll tickle you.
Are you coming on to me?
Tickle, 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 tickle.
I'm gonna pee if you don't stop. Oh, I come from Alabama with my banjo on my knee.
Okay.
At the moment, the habitat contains 2 gillmen.
The only gillman I know is the creature from the Black Lagoon. In order to advance the gillman through his evolutionary stages, you have to answer his questions.
Is your mom still working or not?
He'll ask you your birthday, your father's birthday, your mother's birthday, religion, politics. Seriously, this little bastard wants to know everything about you. But he only asks the questions when he feels like it. So you have to wait until he's in the right mood, which could take hours.
I'm mad at you right now, so go away.
Talk, talk. Speak, speak.
Yeah, bite me.
Did he just take a shit? He just flung shit at me! Well, there's nothing I can do right now. The instruction manual says it best. This is not the type of game in which one can spend several hours in one sitting and expect to experience vast amounts of action or change. As with life itself, change only occurs over time, and even then, slowly. Change is only evident through the accumulation of experience over time. Whoa. That's deep, man. But it's bullshit! The game demands I play by its schedule. So, what am I going to do to pass the time? Oh, I guess I'll play this Famicom disc game, which roughly translates to Explosive Fighter Pattern. Why? Because people told me so. They keep feeding me this shit. Let's check it out. No. No way. It's an official Famicom disc game that says the F word. And this was in the 80s. This was before Hong Kong 97. It's an officially released game on a Nintendo console that says fuck. Oh my god, my life is complete. It says fuck. It says fuck. I forgot about Seaman.
I regret to inform you that Seaman has passed away.
Oh, so it's game over? I gotta start all over again? Oh, man, I was too busy saying it says fuck. Can't I go back a day? Why not? I'll go into the clock settings. Yeah, I'll just set the clock back.
The time setting of the Dreamcast internal clock does not match the time setting of your Seaman Habitat file.
It doesn't work. The manual says, note that you will be unable to return to a previous stage. Such as with life itself, you may only continue forwards. This isn't life! This is a game! Forwards. We can go forward at least. I'm going to start over, and this time I'm going to keep jumping the clock ahead a day. And that way, I can hopefully play the game faster in one sitting. It sorta works. You still have to spend lots of time waiting for the Gillman to ask you questions and waiting for various other things to happen. It doesn't cut down on the total amount of time you need to spend, it just makes it so that you can play the game in one long marathon. The daily routines are heat up the tank, turn up the oxygen, feed the seamen, spray the insect cage. Oh right, I didn't explain the insect cage yet. Basically, you have to keep the moisture level up so you can grow Mothra to lay larva eggs to provide food for the seamen.
Did you see the moth emerge from the cocoon? It is quite amazing.
Or fascinating. The controls couldn't be any more tedious. The heater gains momentum the longer you hold the button. When you let it go, it keeps going for a bit, so you have to make sure you don't overshoot it.
Hey, enough with the heater already.
There's no way to turn it back down. It only falls gradually on its own. With the water spray, you have to keep tapping it, but it only works at its own pace. Oh. All right, another round of that. Time to set the clock forward again. All right. Something's not right. I think I'm losing my mind.
Hey, guess what we're doing over here?
Oh, no, please. The seamen are mating, and they felt the need to announce it, to make it known. There they are, staring you right in the face. I didn't even know one of them was female. They both have a male voice. That's not logical. It dies? It got fucked to death?
In general, would you describe yourself as a confident person?
Am I confident in myself? Well,
you don't have to be perfect to still be able to like yourself, so tell me.
it all started with my pet albatross.
The most important thing is that your dad knows how much he means to
I
you.
just feel like nothing matters, you know?
If you manage to glimpse the world through each
have to
other's
keep
eyes,
up with technology.
what will your future be
It's
like?
a natural result of the world's economy becoming
No reality independent of observation.
I never thought of it that
Human
way.
beings are the only animal smart enough to entertain itself in a complex way.
Eventually, Seaman will help you move a rock that drains all the water. He or she or whatever it is will crawl ashore, then spend 5 minutes making these wretched death sounds. Oh, God. Finally it dies, leaves behind eggs that hatch into turd men, suck each other's blood until one remains, grows legs again, and swims ashore until it becomes the Frogman. This thing has an ecosystem more complex than Ridley Scott's Alien. With all seriousness, I know I've been negative, and yes, the game is tedious, mind-numbing, and makes you feel like you're living in purgatory, but it's very creative. It's basically a form of virtual pet game, a pet that happens to be a sarcastic, wise-ass son of a bitch, but also intellectual. It succeeds in making you feel like you're talking to a living being.
I tell you, I exist just as much as you do.
Oh, come on, you're not real.
People, places, and things exist only because you perceive them. When you see me and listen to me, I exist as a part of your consciousness. I become real.
Oh, okay, you do exist, and you're my favorite game.
All hail Sega. Buy another Dreamcast.
What do you say? Is that what this is all about? You've evolved into a Sega mascot? A piece of promotion? Just like the old Sega commercials. How they brainwashed kids with their blast processing. People play this game and get so attached to Seaman that the line between reality and unreality begins to blur. Just like how people are so attached to the internet.
Just don't come to me when you're biologically fused to your computer screen and haven't changed your underwear or talked to a real person in weeks.
That's right. People will all become mindless slaves to the internet. Remember the Sega Channel? Sega was one of the first to offer downloadable gaming. By attaching this device to your Genesis, you were plugged into their network. We're all caught in the spider's web, and the final part of the grand scheme was the evolution of the Dreamcast with Seaman. Sega, sentient electronic global annihilator. It's hell-bent on world domination. Why else would the Sega have tried to overtake such a big corporation as Nintendo with their Genesis Does What Nintendo Don't campaign? Why were the systems named after planets? The Saturn, the canceled Neptune. The Sega was trying to consume the whole galaxy, eventually the universe. And why does Seaman want to know so much about your family?
Ha! My knowledge of you and your family grows ever more complete.
The Sega is trying to consume your identity, to learn all about you so it can become you. The Podfish are coming. They're here already. You're next. You're next. I must destroy it. I'm going to move the clock so far forward, you're going to be ancient history again.
It is not necessary for you to lavish quite so much attention on Seaman. I hope that Seaman is not disturbing your everyday routine.
As with life itself, change only occurs over time, and even then, it will feed me with game requests to keep me going. Change is only evident through the accumulation of experience over time.
And because I can see you and hear you and smell you, you exist as part of my consciousness. See ya.
Before, there was board games, and then they made video games, and then they made board games of the video games. So it went from cardboard and plastic to pixels on a screen, back to cardboard and plastic again. Let's see how well some of these video game board game games have turned out. First up is Pac-Man. If you know how Pac-Man is played, then there's not much to say. They translated the video game to physical medium in a pure and faithful way. The famous pellets are represented by these balls which go in his mouth. It works okay. Damn. The main difference is that there's multiple Pac-Men for competitive gameplay. On each player's turn, they control their Pac-Man and also a ghost to chase after the other Pac-Men. If caught, they go back to the starting point. Imagine what it would be like to be trapped for all eternity with two ghosts. The game ends when all the balls are gone. The player to gobble the most balls wins. I do have to say, the Pac-Man pieces are a little strange looking. Even the instructions say, move your silly Pac-Man playing piece, as if they were admitting it's stupid. The game isn't perfect for sure, it's just kind of, you know, I guess you could say it's, I think the proper term you're searching for is, it's a piece of shit. Who'd want to play a board game of Pac-Man when you can play the video game instead? You mean like that asinine Atari 2600 version where they couldn't even get Pac-Man into a circle shape? It's not great, but at the time, this was a better way to get Pac-Man into the home than that flickering, glitchy mess. Face it, nobody cares about board games. I prefer to have something physical that you could actually get your hands on. Here's a better example. Pac-Man Magnetic Maze. This version gives you more of that instant gratification, that real-time action you're looking for. It's closer to the video game. You actually use a joystick which wobbles the board around, therefore moving the pieces. The goal is to collect the points which magnetize the Pac-Man's head and bring them back to the start point while avoiding the ghosts, or monsters. Why do they refer to the ghosts as monsters? Because it's garbage. What kind of board game uses a joystick anyway? Okay, let's try Super Mario Brothers. That's a great action-oriented game with plenty of possibilities. The art style is very much in tune with the video game, but let's see how it plays. Each player takes turns controlling Mario. That's odd that you all share the same pawn. If you roll red, you move on to the next red space. If you roll yellow, you move on to the next yellow space. Doot 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 doot. Doot 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 doot. Real fun game. Really beats playing the video game, doesn't it? Don't you just love rolling that die? Roll, roll, roll. Yeah, it's pretty tedious. You're constantly landing on spaces, potentially covering almost the entire board. Having numbered dice would have made the game much quicker paced. Sure, you can choose to take alternate paths, but the choices of where to go are very limited. There's hardly any strategy involved. Your turn ends when you roll stop, then the other players take control of Mario. But whenever you collect 4 coins, you can trade them in for an extra roll, or an extra life, as the instruction manual calls it. A mushroom gives you 4 coins, but since 4 coins gives you an extra life, couldn't a mushroom just be an extra life? Yeah, you might have to take some fucking mushrooms to understand this game. Then there's the hazard cards. Whenever you hit a question mark, you collect another card which you can use on the other player. Basically, what the cards do is spawn enemies for the other players to land on. If they land on an enemy, they lose a life, or in other words, the turn goes back to you. The goal of the game is to be the first player to land on the final space, therefore rescuing the princess. Well, this is kind of stupid. Now you're talking some sense. Nothing in the game matters. It's all about who gets that final roll. What's the point of putting hazards down? Just wait for Mario to get near the end, then start playing competitively. By putting down hazards, all you're doing is slowing Mario down and prolonging the game. It's like trying to play a game of chess by yourself. Everything you do on one side counteracts the other. Well, this could easily be solved if there were 2 different playing pieces, like only if there was somebody else besides Mario, like who is that? Who's that now? Luigi? Nailed it on the head, like a hammer brother. Brother, it sucks. How much does it suck? It fucking sucks! Say it like it is! It's a shitload of fuck! That's a good one. Here's one that's okay. It's Super Mario Bros. The Great Ladder Race game. Here, 2 players, Mario and Luigi, race to get up and down the ladder without falling off. You have to appreciate the simplicity. I like games that deal with physics. Yeah, but what does it have to do with Mario? Isn't this exactly what you want with a Mario game? Hanging on fucking ladders? Well, come to think of it, it should have been based on the ladder finale from It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. But anyway, I think this is pretty good because instead of trying to force the video game into a board game, here, they just made something new. I'm just trying to look on the positive side. There is no positive side. It's like trying to describe a dog turd that's sitting on a sidewalk. Which side is better? The side that's facing up, drying up in the hot afternoon sun, or the side that's sticking to the cement, staying moist and shitty?
Alright, let's try Legend of Zelda. The art design looks promising enough. The board is colorful, appealing, and represents the labyrinth-style gameplay that we know and love. Well, just like in the Mario game, all the players share a Link. They each take turns moving him around. Each room has its own set of colored tiles. When you land on a yellow square, you uncover a tile. If it's a monster, you fight it by rolling the battle dice. If the number of swords rolled is equal or higher than the number of the monster, you win. If the monster has a heart, you get a heart. But if you lose one of your hearts. If anyone loses all their hearts, the game ends. When you uncover the special item, you can move to the next room. In the very last room lies the Triforce. When somebody gets the Triforce, the game ends, but they don't necessarily win. The winner is the person to have the most hearts when the game is over. Well, it makes more sense than the Mario game, but it's definitely no Hero Quest or Dragon Strike, because those games were meant to be board games. This was meant to be a video game. Yeah, I wish I was playing the real Zelda instead. Damn straight. Now you're starting to see the light, Board James, or should I call you Video James? Here's Street Fighter 2, the board game. I guess there was no Street Fighter 1 game. Oh no, they did it. They took Street Fighter literally. It's just a bunch of fucking streets? Get it? Street Fighter? They fight on the streets! On the streets! You're right, it's ass. I'm gonna go play the video game. Fine. This is a pretty big board anyway. For a video game that's just two people fighting, all it really needed was dice and cards. When you roll the die, you don't count spaces, you count directions on the street. So every time you turn a corner, that's one number on the die. When players meet, they fight. By doing what? You guessed it, rolling battle dice. The winner gains a point on their power meter. The higher your meter gets, the more dice you get to roll in battle. First player to get their power meter to the top wins. But then there's M. Bison, who has a countdown meter. If his countdown meter makes it to the end, that means everybody loses. But players can also try fighting M. Bison if they're powerful enough. If someone beats him, that person wins the game. Wow. Just as much fun as playing the video game. This is a mess. This whole thing is a mess. What do I need this for? Did I put this together right? Remove the pawn stands, building stands, clips and pegs from underneath the cardboard platform. Separate the clips and twist the pegs off the runner. Discard waste. Discard waste. Tetris? Oh no, you gotta be kidding me! Who makes a board game of Tetris? How do you make a board game of Tetris? That isn't even possible! What am I supposed to do here? Play fucking Tetris on cardboard? Fuck this. Players all simultaneously and randomly pick block shapes out of a box. They place them on the board and arrange them just like you would if you were playing Tetris. If you get a block you don't want, you pass it to the next player. When somebody reaches the top, the game ends. Whoever has the least amount of open spaces wins. So basically you're trying to cover as many spaces as possible in the quickest amount of time. What's the point? I guess it's good for people who don't have electricity but still want to play video games. You could play it on Game Boy with AA batteries. Who needs this shit? Who makes video games into board games? It's all a bunch of circle jerk marketing bullshit. I played some board games out of boredom, but this shit, you gotta be really bored. What were they thinking? You know who you are. You're a nerd. You'll always be a nerd. A video game nerd.
no! Oh, goddamn kids. They left me a flaming bag of shit. The Crow, City of Angels. It was on PC, PlayStation, and Sega Saturn. And all the same, the PC version was a piece of crap, the PS version was a piece of shit, and the Saturn version was a satanic turd more lethal than 10 tons of donkey dookie dropping from a 60-story building! The Crow was a dark action film based on a comic series. The film takes place the night before Halloween, Mischief Night, or Devil's Night, which is associated with the more destructive version of Mischief Night, which is not so much about petty pranks, but more about vandalism and arson. It's also somewhat related to an older tradition, Die Fucks Night, but that's another story. Anyway, The Crow, of course, starred Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son. You can't talk about The Crow without mentioning the fact that he was accidentally killed on set by a defective gun blank. Yeah, I have nothing but tragedy to tell today. The plot was about a rock star named Eric Draven. He and his girlfriend are violently killed by a horrible gang. But he's resurrected and seeks his revenge after a crow leads his soul back to the world of the living. Yeah, it sounds weird when you say it fast, but it was a pretty good movie. While not perfect, it was stylized with a gloomy and surreal comic book tone, similar to Tim Burton's Batman. That would be a good time to make a video game, right? No, there were no games based on The Crow. Nada. Diddly fucking squat. Then came the shitty sequel, The Crow, City of Angels. Ho-ho! Now it's time to make a game! Alright, let's pump this fucking turd in here. Loading. Yeah. My ass is loading. Okay. Great opening screen. Take a guess which tiny pixely blob is me. The one in the center that your eyes are immediately drawn to? I'm pushing left and right, and the dude is walking side to side. That would have to be me, right? No. I'm the guy in the bottom right turning in a circle. Just wonderful. Rather than just simply pressing which direction you want to go, check this out. This is how it works. Left and right turn yourself around in a 360 motion, while up makes you go forward. No matter which direction you or the camera are facing, up is always forward. This isn't the only game like this. Even the first Resident Evil had the same shitty controls. But for The Crow, I would say this is before they figured out how to program video game controls for 3 dimensions in a good way, but Super Mario 64 was already out. Alright, first enemy in the game, and I can't even figure... Oh, look, he's punching through me. His fist is coming right out my back. If this is what it's going to be like for every enemy we encounter, then we're in for a real nightmare. As the game explicitly warns you, this is your last chance. The game is so bad that it's become self-aware. Look at this ugly, murky mess. I'm sure they were going for a dark, moody atmosphere and all that, but don't you think it's a little too dark? It's almost just a black screen with yellow and red pools of light. Looks like somebody bled and pissed all over the place after smearing the camera lens with their shit after taking a bunch of Pepto-Bismol. Oh, he's badass. Look, here he comes. He's badass. Like a slasher villain. That's actually pretty terrifying. Look at his fucking face. Looks like a melted candle of one of the members of KISS. And there probably do exist KISS candles. But wouldn't that be great if we could hear a God of Thunder or something awesome? But instead, listen to this rockin' tune. Yeah, you'll enjoy hearing that for hours. Nah, you won't. That's the perfect soundtrack to go along with walking around in circles in the most depressing bar in existence. This is a place where people go to cut their wrists and drink gasoline. It's hard to even walk a straight line. On top of the clumsy controls that make you feel like you're driving a tank, the camera angles keep changing at the most inconvenient times. It's so disorienting. Sometimes I deliberately walk around the same area just to see if I could figure out where the line is between one camera angle and the next. It's like stepping into a separate reality. Sometimes the camera angle doesn't change at all. You just step outside the boundaries of existence. Where am I? It's as if there's actually a person behind a mixer who has to switch the camera angles. But that person was too busy smoking pot. Oh, dude. Sorry, man. How about this? I'm behind the fucking bar. I guess they completely forgot to even put a camera back there. And there's times when your feet actually get stuck.
as if there's an invisible treadmill.
Hey, clown face.
Let's talk about the fight. It's the worst part of the game, which is unfortunately the part you do the most of. You have a few different variations of kicks and punches you can pull off. You can even throw people, but whether or not you hit your mark is all up to chance. You mash buttons and hope for the best. Half the time, your fists and feet go right through your opponent. That is, if you can even face the right direction. This is like Karate Champ, but taken to 3 dimensions. The whole thing is a fucking clown show. Oh, my God. And the fighting in the cutscene is there just to tease you. Wow, look, they're actually punching and kicking, even blocking, and they're facing right at each other. This is just a reminder of how much better the game could have been. Oh my God. What is he doing? He's pulling her tits. He's pulling her tits. The awful camera angles add so much to the misery. Don't you love it when you're fighting somebody and you end up in a corner somewhere? Could you imagine if this was somebody's first video game? Or if it was even the first video game ever made? I think even then it would have induced vomiting and irritable bowel syndrome. I wonder if Guy Fawkes would have liked this game. After all, it's based on a shitty sequel, so I don't know what I expected. I guess I expected something a little less vaginal. Yeah, I'm running out of adjectives. The controls, needless to say, are delayed. When you have to turn around, get in position, and then pull off an attack, the response time for all that is way too much. By the time that actually happens, you don't even remember what you tried to do. It's as if every time you press the button, that request gets processed in a queue of commands that's always behind. Weapons, if you're even able to pick them up, you can never hit anybody with them. Within those 360 degrees, you have to turn till you're facing in the precise direction, which you'll never have time to do. Fuck! As soon as the enemies have guns, the game is all over with. They always have ammunition, and you never do. In the time it takes to pick up the guns, pick up the ammo, and then try to shoot at them, they already got you. And if you do manage to pull off a few shots, that's all you get is a few shots, and then the ammo runs out. But not them. They come at you with fucking machine guns and drain your life bar instantly. Jeez! Strange that in the movie, the guns can't kill him, but I suppose playing as an invincible, immortal character wouldn't have made for a challenging game. But this is way too challenging, and the challenge isn't about legit gameplay. The challenge is all about trying to outsmart the broken-ass controls. The only way I'm able to glimpse ahead in the game is by using passwords. Even then, as soon as the level starts, the enemies immediately gang up on you. I tried every stage in the game, and none of them I can last more than a minute. I even turned the difficulty down, and still, it's fucking insane. This is the definition of frustrating. Like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde frustrating, and it all leads up to a battle that looks like something out of Hellraiser. Fuck. Shit. Oh, God fucking damn it! This game is worse than a Mischief Night prank. Mischief Night is throwing toilet paper all over someone's yard. This game is the equivalent of throwing toilet paper after you wiped your ass. It's as refreshing as a horse's anus. Fuck the crawl up its burnt ass. And fuck you, you fucking clown-faced joker, kiss makeup wearing King Diamond, Beetlejuice, Alice Cooper, Marilyn Manson motherfucker! You nerd. I got a better game for us. Board James, go away. You don't get a Halloween special. Fuck you, you fucking asshole! Why? I never get a Halloween special! Why is it always gotta be about you? When's it gonna be my turn? Okay. As soon as Halloween is over, we'll play some plastic and cardboard. Better late than never.
You've read the book. You've seen the movies. You've played the video game. Now, see Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the game, the movie. Dr. Jekyll, man of science, on the brink of discovery.
Yes?
I'm a bit worried. You're spending too much time with these experiments.
I'm on to something really special. I am. One day, every
Everyone will want to separate the good and evil parts of their personality.
Do whatever you want. Just don't forget the wedding.
Of course. I promise. What could possibly go wrong?
Dr. Jekyll get married? He thinks he's better than the rest of us. So they really think he's better than the rest of us. Fuck Jekyll! He came to me and said, "Good morning." The nerve. I hope you have a great day. The nerve. And I was like, who are you to tell me what to do?
He's late already. He is a very slow walker.
He walks with a cane, but it never touches the ground.
I just don't even know what he does. You don't even know him. How can you marry him?
He's got eyeballs. Testicles.
Hello, my boy. What is that you've got there? The little laddie Billy Pond.
That's my boy. He's a good boy.
Oh. I like him already. I want red until every man, woman, child, and insect is after it. Stop with the huckle and kill Jekyll. Kill the bastard!
Cinemassacre invites you to share the agony of a man who's about to face a dual challenge. In a world of demons, Mr. Hyde battles monsters with his secret weapon, the deadly Psycho Wave. Two worlds struggle for control. Which will triumph, good or evil, Jekyll or Hyde?
Oh! I got you! I got you, you son of a bitch!
Blazing from the pages of Robert Louis Stevenson, the classic tale of horror comes to vivid life.
She's trying to go to my wedding!
Well, Christmas is almost here again, already. The cold weather's kicking in, the snowfall, the ice. It's going to get below freezing, maybe even sub-zero, which reminds me. Ah, yes, Nintendo 64 end labels. The greatest invention ever. When Nintendo drops the ball, the fans pick it up. Here it is, Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero. This is one Mortal Kombat game that I have never played before. But how could that be? It was one of my favorite video game franchises. Yeah, in the 90s, Mortal Kombat was the fucking tits. Everybody was obsessed with it. When it came to fighting games, Street Fighter II and Mortal Kombat were as essential as food and water. I'll never forget my first time seeing the original game in the arcades. I distinctly remember catching a glimpse of it between the shoulders of bigger kids crowding around it. I was impressed by the graphics, the realistic human figures, and shocked by the excessive blood and gore. It was awesome. It was one of the games to inspire the rating system. When it came to home consoles, nobody knew what to do. The Genesis version had a code to unlock the blood, while the Super Nintendo version left it out altogether. But starting with Mortal Kombat 2, it was blood for all.
How to do the finishing moves and how to unlock secret characters was a daily school bus and lunchtime conversation. You could be the most geeky, socially awkward kid in school, but as soon as you'd show up passing around Mortal Kombat codes, you were the ultimate hero. There was a mystique to these games. It was all about secrets and rumors, such as a swearing code and a nude code. One time somebody printed out a move list which they got from connecting their computer to their telephone line. It was like science fiction shit, but it turned out to be an early form of something even bigger than life itself, called the Internet. As I remember it, the mid